every single time you board a plane. The airline is running a secret protocol on your body. You don't consent to it. They don't announce it. And most passengers will go their entire lives never knowing it happened. Think about the last time you flew. You're on descent. The pilot says, "Prepare for landing." And then the cabin lights quietly go dim. Most people assume it's routine, just part of landing. But what if those dimmed lights are the only thing standing between you and dying in a burning aircraft? Because that is exactly what they're for. And the science behind it is terrifying. Today, we're uncovering the dark truth about cabin dimming, what it actually does to your body, the 90-second window that makes it critical, and the window shade connection that will completely change how you fly forever. Stay until the end. The last reveal is the one nobody talks about. But before we go any further, welcome back to We Knew That. This is where the ordinary objects around you reveal secrets that will make you say, wow. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button right now, because we drop a mind-blowing discovery every single week, and you cannot afford to miss them, all right? You ready? Because this one, mad, let's do it. To understand why planes dim the lights, we first have to look at what your eyes actually do in sudden darkness. And the answer is almost nothing, at least not right away. Inside your eye, you have two types of light receptors: cones for bright light and rods for low light. Here's the problem. Rods take up to 30 full minutes to fully activate in darkness. 30 minutes! So when the lights suddenly cut out, you are effectively blind for a terrifying stretch of time. Now imagine that blindness happening when your plane just crash-landed and smoke is filling the cabin. In early aviation disasters, investigators found something disturbing. In crashes where the plane stayed mostly intact, passengers still died. Not from the impact, from what came after. They couldn't see, they couldn't find the exits, they couldn't move fast enough, and the clock was running. You'll understand exactly how fast that clock runs in about 60 seconds. Step 1. The discovery. Aviation safety researchers dug into crash survivability data across decades of incidents. And they found a pattern that changed everything. The passengers who survived weren't always the strongest or the youngest or the fastest. They were the ones whose eyes were ready. So engineers asked, what if we could pre-adapt passengers' eyes before the danger moment ever arrives? What if we could give their rods a 20-minute head start, so that if the lights go out in a crash, their vision is already halfway there? Think of it like this. You're about to run a race. You can either start from standing still, or you can start already moving at half speed. Which one wins? That's what the dimmed lights are doing, getting your visual system moving before the race begins. Step 2. The 90-second truth. Here's the number that should terrify every person who has ever flown. After a crash landing with fire, you have 90 seconds to evacuate the aircraft. 90 seconds. Before the fuselage becomes unsurvivable. That's not a guideline. That's the FAA's certified evacuation standard. It's the basis for every aircraft certification test in the world. And in those 90 seconds, you have to unbuckle, stand up, find the aisle, locate an exit, get to it, and get out. In total darkness, in a smoke-filled cabin, while panicking, with eyes that aren't ready. Unless your eyes were already adapting for the last 20 minutes of descent. That's the whole game. That's why the lights go dim. Step 3. The window shade secret, the payoff. Now here is the part nobody talks about. And this is why I told you to stay until the end. Remember how flight attendants always ask you to open your window shades before landing? You probably thought it was about natural light. Maybe a visibility check. Maybe just airline policy. Wrong. It is so much more calculated than that. Reason 1. Natural light from outside helps continue your eye's adaptation process alongside the dimmed cabin lights. It's a two-source pre-adaptation system working in parallel. But reason 2 is the one that will stop you cold. If your plane crashes on landing, first responders need to see inside the cabin from outside the aircraft. Closed shades mean rescuers are blind to where survivors are trapped, where fire is spreading, where the exits are blocked. Open shades mean a firefighter running toward a burning fuselage can see in 3 seconds what would otherwise take 3 minutes to assess. In a 90-second window, that's the difference between a rescue and a recovery. So what's the money angle? Is this just good safety practice? Not exactly. The FAA requires aircraft to pass full evacuation certification tests. 90 seconds, full passenger load, mixed demographics, low lighting conditions. Any airline that can't demonstrate compliance loses aircraft certification. No certification, no flights, no flights. no revenue. Airlines spend thousands per aircraft engineering their cabin lighting sequences to hit this standard. The dimmer switch isn't a comfort feature. It's a liability shield, a regulatory mandate, and a survival protocol, all in one. So the next time you're on a plane and the lights go dim on descent, don't reach for your eye mask. Don't assume it's ambiance. Look around the cabin, at the dimmed overhead panels, at the open window shades letting in the last of the daylight. You are looking at a decades-old survival system quietly activating around you. Aviation engineers studying crash after crash. Biologists mapping your visual system's limits. Regulators building a 90-second window into the law. All of it converging in one silent moment, a dimmer switch being pressed. So that if everything goes wrong in the next 60 seconds, your eyes have a fighting chance. That flight attendant walking the aisle isn't checking tray tables. She's running a pre-survival checklist on 200 people who have no idea it's happening. And now you do. And that moment when it all clicks, now we knew. If this changed how you'll think on your next flight, smash that like button right now. Subscribe to We Knew That for more everyday objects with extraordinary secrets hiding in plain sight. Drop a comment with We Knew That and tell us what object we should investigate next. New discoveries every week. See you in the next one.